Hi, Andy Wright here, Commercial Manager at Kulea. Today we're going to spend about 5 minutes or so walking through an example of how, with Kulea, we're supporting sales teams, be that from a existing account management team or a new business team, to allow them to identify additional revenue within either existing accounts or prospect and nurture new accounts. With that in mind, we're also going to touch on how we can support with the retention accounts to protect that renewal revenue. We do this through a number of ways, but ultimately we're going to show you how you can track the level of engagement, score that engagement, and then prioritize your sales team's activities with that data. This all to build pipeline and accurately forecast deals as well, because we're working with engaged prospects and clients. To bring this to life, we're going to follow Sandra on the left-hand side. Sandra is an account manager with a lot of the responsibilities we've just mentioned, and we're going to target her accounts on a number of ways. We're going to look at the contacts' roles within the accounts. We're going to look at their industry, but we're also going to look at how Sandra's targeted her accounts in terms of those that have a high priority versus a lower. Let's say a high priority with low current contract value but high potential versus low target, which is more of a retention account. So let's launch our first campaign. Once this campaign is run, we can track this ongoing engagement indefinitely. So we've selected the email that we're sending and who it's coming from. We're selecting who it's going to in terms of industry. We're selecting who it's going to in terms of job role. We're authorizing that we're eligible to send the campaign, and we're going to send it now. So this campaign has gone to a number of people. Firstly, it's gone to Peter on the left and Callum on the right. Now, interestingly here, Peter is the head of IT within a retention account, Threads Limited. They're a retail client of Sandra's. On the right-hand side, we have Callum. Callum is a sales director for Nomad Manufacturing, a target account for Sandra. Now, initially, as you'll see as these emails come through, they're part of the same campaign, but the content is different. Firstly, the subject heading is geared towards their industry, and the body of text is geared around them as individuals and their roles. We'll see that we're talking to Peter, the head of IT, around how he can optimize his IT solution suite, versus Callum on the right, the sales director, how he can uncover a greater number of opportunities and better manage his pipeline. So let's go through to the CRM solution webpage that Sandra is pointing us towards. As we'll see here now, the content is changing again, this time based on the industry, allowing for us to track their engagement. And of course, this engagement should be higher because the content is more relevant to them. As we scroll down, we can see the case studies are now changing, as is the content and the value proposition behind the different Acme solution products. Okay, so now let's engage with the case studies themselves. We'll click through the retail case study for Peter and the manufacturing one for Callum. Now we're showing levels of engagement here. We're engaging with the content online. We're looking at the CRM solution. We're reading case studies. What does this mean for Sandra? Well, Sandra's received an alert, but only one alert, and that alert is for Callum. Now, although Callum and Peter have followed the same click path and showed the same size of engagement, Callum is a priority account. We mentioned at the top of the demonstration he's a target account for Sandra, and therefore he's been treating it as accordingly. We've received an alert that he's looked at the case studies and that we've also prompted a communication from Sandra to Callum. That communication is asking Callum what he thought of the content, with a call to action to schedule a meeting. Now, what we're doing here is we're showing through automation how we can not only prospect and nurture the conversation with these clients and contacts and accounts, but actually automate a lot of what is the next steps, which would be to get a call booked in the calendar. Again, what we're doing here is we're scoring the engagement and we're prioritizing our responses accordingly. We've scheduled this through Calendly. Calendly is a third-party application to Kulea, but we do have functionality that allows Kulea to connect with over 1,000 solutions, including a number of CRM tools. So how does that differ now for Peter. Well, Peter is still on the retail case study page. And because he's a lower priority client, he's not yet received an email and we've not received an alert. So we're going to continue tracking his engagement. And actually, Peter is about to now download the data sheet. In doing so, he is adding to his score as a retention account. And because of that score that's being added to, he's now meeting certain thresholds. And those thresholds are now kicking off these alerts. The alert that Sandra's received is different to one she received for Callum because Peter is a retention account. The call to action here for Sandra is slightly different. Again, we're looking at how we can add this to our renewals conversation. Now what we could do here, similarly to what we've done with Callum, is automate a response to Peter looking to get a time booked to either have that conversation around the renewal or his interest in the CRM solutions. So there we have it, a high-level example of how sales teams with Kulea are prioritising their activities. With a combination of explicit CRM information, job role, industry, and account gradings based on priority versus lesser priority accounts, and also Kulea insights in terms of engagement with content, be that data sheets, case studies, or particular offerings and web pages. All of this comes together to automate a nurturing and prospecting journey that allows for us to create compelling reasons for your contacts and accounts to contact your sales representatives and your sales representatives to prioritize who they contact and when. If you've got any questions on what you've seen today or would like to see how this would work within your particular business, please feel free to contact me on either 01908 088914 or on andy@kulea.ma.